Demetrius Andrade.
Oh yeah.
Tell me, man. You leave your area, Providence, Rhode Island. You come down to New York, New Jersey, look at your sparring. What brings you all the way down here?
Basically, the sparring. There's good work out here in Mikey Red's gym, so we called him up, told him we need some work, and we made it happen.
So, you have a tentative fight date for next month in Hammond, Indiana. That's what it says on paycheck. May or may not happen. I believe you've had 2 fights fall out recently. Talk about some of the frustrations. You're doing all this hard training, all this sparring, you're traveling around looking for work, and a fight falls out.
I mean, it gets frustrating when, they tell me I got a date and I'm preparing for that date, losing the weight, training extra hard, beating down my sparring partners, and to find out I'm doing all that for nothing, and then it's hard for me to find the sparring. And so basically we have to go gym to gym, state to state looking for sparring. And don't get me wrong, if it don't go through, at the end of the day, I'm getting in shape and I'm learning and I'm progressing, and I can't complain because this is what I got to do every day anyway, because this is my life basically right now.
So tell me, you're a highly touted prospect, 200 amateur fights. When you came into the pros, were you thinking, well, I got 200 amateur fights, this is going to be easy? But tell me what your thinking was when you first decided to make that jump to the pros.
Well, boxing is not easy. It's not like anybody can just jump in the ring and get in there and win a gold medal or, win the world champion. You got to train hard, and I've been doing this for 16 years now. But, with my talent, my dedication, and the people I have around me pushing me to that limit, I know that whoever they put me in the ring with, I'm going to make the fight a lot easier than me if I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing. So,
So you're coming off a knockout win over Omar Bell on ESPN. This was, I think, this is your first fight with Rob, right, as your head coach. Tell me, what made you make that transition from having your pops training you to now having someone else training you?
I mean, well, my family have their own life, what I'm saying? There's a lot of things that my dad couldn't do or couldn't make it or do some of the things that I needed him to do. And so, Rob been around for at least 7-8 years of my life before, boxing, just, being in the neighborhood and, him as a person, he loved me, he treated me like, his brother, and he always been to all the fights, the Golden Gloves, he went to the World Championships, he been all over the world with me. He was actually my strength and conditioning coach. And so moving forward, I had to make a decision, I want to be able to move, I want to be able to go places, have camps, and the only person that was willing to do it with me was Rob. So, I sat down, thought about it, reevaluated my situation, and I put him as a head coach.
So tell me, how did your pops take it?
I mean, don't nobody like to, get replaced or, whatever the word you want to use, I'm gonna just say replace. And you know, he took it a little harsh, but you know, I treat him like my dad still. I call him up, say what's up. You know, I try to talk to him, and you know, once things get better and he's willing to come back to in the picture, you know, I see how it goes. If not, then you know, my situation is great right now.
Right now we have the USA Boxing Olympic trials going on. I believe yesterday was the first day. What advice would you have to these young amateurs that are taking the same route that you took about 3 years ago, that are you know, trying to make their names, you know, in the Olympics, coming up through these tough ranks? What would you tell them?
I mean, I tell them, you know, do what you got to do to win. Don't take no for an answer. Go out there and throw a zillion punches if you have to win. It's, you know, you only have one opportunity doing this. You know, some people like Rashid Lewis and Raynell Williams was blessed to do it twice, because I heard they're going back to it. But everybody else, I only got that one shot. Work hard, man, to make sure it happens.
Mm-hmm. You know, you had the fight. I think you lost in the semis to the Korean. You know, and that was one of those fights that really could have gone a lot of different ways. I think a lot of punches weren't counted there, both ways. But a lot of people thought that your stock rose and you became like the guy to watch from the U.S. team. Talk about that Olympic experience. You know,
I mean, the Olympic experience was great. You know, I won the world championships in Chicago. I basically fought everybody there. I blew everybody out, and so going to the Olympics, I felt confidence. But you know, I didn't sleep on nobody, because the person I beat was looking forward to beating me and training twice as hard before I fought him. So therefore, you know, I went in there with the game plan, you know, outboxing and doing what I do best, and that's what I did. And unfortunately, you know, the judges, you know, didn't give me the win.
So so now you're a pro, you're 1309 knockouts, you're fighting on TV. You know, what's bigger, fighting on TV now or fighting in the Olympics?
I mean, the Olympics is the Olympics. Everybody in the whole wide world watches the Olympics, man. The Olympics is the Olympics. Now, once I get to that position where I'm fighting for a world title, then I can tell you what the difference is. But right now, the fights that I'm having on TV, you know, they're just step-up fights. They're fights for me to get to where I need to get to. But the Olympics is the Olympics.
Tell me how hard it is, you know, being a highly touted prospect, having all these expectations. And you're fighting on TV, you know, and I respect Teddy Atlas. You know, I consider Teddy Atlas to be a good friend of mine. But you know, he has some criticisms of you. Is it hard, you know, to hear him say that he feels you should step it up, you know, maybe fight, you know, competition that maybe is too soon for you at 23 years old?
I mean, it's just like I just stepped up to the pro league. It's not like I'm gonna step up and fight Paul Williams or Sergio Martinez. Before I can do that, I gotta gradually bring myself to that position, just like anybody else did in this pro game. I understand that, you know, he expects high expectations out of me, and when it's my opportunity, I will show forth that I am the best. But right now, I'm just, you know, baby stepping my way up there so I can make it happen.
Tell me about, you know, the trappings of being known on TV.
Say that again?
Tell me about the trappings of being, you know, a well-known guy. I mean, do you notice that people treat you a little bit differently when you walk around the town? Or, do you see like any people like maybe trying to get close to you because you're on TV, because you're making things happen for yourself?
Well, back home before, like a lot of people didn't even know I fought. You know, I did the boxing thing. You know, everybody had respect for me for who I am, who I you know, grew up to be. But now a lot of people know, like, wow, you just started boxing, but they didn't know I was boxing in middle school. I was boxing in high school. I'm boxing when I was 6 years old, so they didn't know that. So, you know, as the neighborhood thing, they knew who I was because who I was in the streets, and that they respect me for who I was, and I respect everybody else. But other than that, like as they found out I was boxing, yeah, a lot of people want to keep in contact with me, try to, like, you know, get up or chill. But me, I don't do that. I never did do that. I'm focused on being the greatest I can be, and I don't need no distractions right now.
Every boxer, or most boxers I've spoken to, when they become world champion or they get their first big payday, they have one big purchase that they splurge on. What is that big purchase that, you know, what do you think is going to be your big purchase? Is it going to be a car? Is it going to be a, you know, a watch? Tell me what, you know, something to reward yourself. What it's going to be?
Man, it's going to be a house. You know what I mean? It's gonna be I don't know if it's gonna. I don't know if I'm getting enough money to get a mansion right off, you know, the first payday. But you know, it's gonna be a nice house.
I've known him since he was about 13 years old. You know, so we've been around for a long, you know, around each other for a long time. You know, a lot of people think that, oh well, he's new around them or whatever. That's not the case. Actually, you know, we've been friends way before, you know, we decided to do what we do now in the boxing gyms or whatever. I used to be his conditioning coach, and you know, a lot of things, there was a lot of weird turns in his career. So you know, now I'm here with him, and so he decides he needs something different or whatever the case may be. You know, so at the end of the day, I just want what's best for him.
So you're both from Providence, correct?
Excuse me?
You're both from Providence?
Yeah, Providence, Rhode Island. Yeah.
Talk to me about some of the other boxing that goes on in Rhode Island. I'm not so familiar with the area up there. I know they have the Dunkin' Donuts Center up there.
Yeah, Dunkin' Donuts Center. They really don't hold too many fights there. Most of the fights are held at Twin Rivers. You know, that's in Lincoln, Rhode Island. And as far as fighters that come out of Rhode Island, you know, you got Matt Godfrey, Jason Estrada. You know, not really too many other names. Manfredo, of course, everybody knows him. And, you know, now Demetrius. Also, Daniel Connor fights out of Providence, Rhode Island. I mean, he's from Framingham, but he fights out of those gyms.
So, you know, you work with Andrade now. Tell me, you know, you've known him for a long time, but the last fight was your first fight, and you're the main guy in the corner. Was there a little bit of jitters in there? Like, you know, you're working for the first time with a guy?
Nah. No, because actually, like I said to you, that's the first time that I've worked with him as far as like televised, something like that. But you know, we go to gyms in Miami, we go to gyms in Orlando, we've been to gyms everywhere to spar and stuff. So, you know, it was normal. And then, you know, I also know a lot of good people in boxing, so you know, they all always telling me, just don't worry, relax, everything will be fine. I mean, and how could I have jitters? I'm going in there with a 2008 Olympian. It's easy.
So tell me about, you know, you go all these who's some of the guys you spar with? You know, well, Andrade spar with.
Durrell, Upshaw, Gutierrez, Berto, Holt, Kendall Holt, the list goes on.
So you're coming into a situation now with Andrade. Before two fights ago, Artie Kululu told USA Today that he had questions about whether the father-son tandem that was working with Andrade was the right way to go. The next fight, you're the main guy in the corner. Was it a weird situation to walk into?
Actually, like I said, to me it wasn't weird because I'm here for Demetrius. So whatever he wants, that's what I'm gonna do. You know, he's a great kid. You know, guys like Teddy Atlas and them guys, you know, don't make it seem that way because they want him to do things that nobody in boxing has ever done. But it's all about him, you know. So whatever happened between him, his dad, Kululu, and all that, that's none of my business. You know, that's personal stuff.
So there's a tentative date here for next month in Indiana. It's on track, but we all know that it's usually not binding. But you do have a fight coming up for September 17th, is it?
No, September 21st, and that's in New Hampshire. And it's actually a card thrown by Demetrius' manager, which is Ed Ferris. So, I mean, I know that's a fight that we definitely have guaranteed. And he'll be the main event there.
So tell me about that fight. You said that you had two fights fall out, you know?
Yes.
I mean, does it get a little frustrating for you?
Of course it gets frustrating to see how hard he's working, you know, how much time we put into this, like the traveling, the being away from his family, my family. You know, he has a daughter that's going to be 1 now this month, and not to see her walk, you come home and she's running to you. So, you know, all that's frustrating when it's for nothing. You know, I mean, at least if we're fighting and he's moving his career along, then it's worth it. But to do these training camps and see him like really go through the shoulder pains, the calf hurt, like just being the soreness and all that, and then at the end of the day, nothing. it can get to certain people, but he's a very strong kid. So, you know, we just keep moving.